Well, good morning, everybody. I see we've already got that number climbing into this webinar. Happy Tuesday. We are so excited to be here with you. I am lucky enough that Alicia and I get to do this one together, which is really fun. I know we've done a couple solo, but we like to do them together as much as possible. How are you this morning, Alicia?
I'm doing all right, Kevin, looking out at the snowy roads out my window.
I'm not going to lie. My wife and I were on a little bit of a road trip and we drove back into Colorado and it was like 20 some degrees. And I looked around and I was like, why do we live here? I don't know why we do this. I'm learning more and more. I'm not a cold weather person. So those of you that are not in cold weather, you can brag. In fact, pop open chat. There's actually two ways you guys can communicate with us during this webinar. And we want this to be a conversation here. At the very bottom, there is a chat option. That's kind of the first one here. Pop open that chat. Let us know where you're joining us from. You can rub it in. We've already got a couple of Floridas just rubbing it in my face that you're in nice warm weather. But we love just seeing all the different places that we've got here. Southern California, Kentucky, North Carolina. Now you can see if you're looking at chat right now, it gets crazy, right? It absolutely goes nuts. Yeah, Alicia, what's yeah?
So most people's chat here is set to just panelists. So if you want to interact with your fellow webinar attendees, you can also change it to panelists and attendees, and then it'll be public, because right now they're not seeing any of these.
Oh, well, if you're seeing it from our end, it's crazy because everybody's chatting in, which we love. That's what we want. We want you to think of chat as just kind of like I have a thought or I have a quick comment and I want to throw it out there. Or maybe a question for everybody to see, right? Maybe somebody else can kind of help answer that question. Feel free to use that, use chat there. The other place that I want to direct you guys to though, if you look at the bottom of the Zoom screen is the Q&A option. This is obviously for question and answer. This is a great place to put specific questions about the things that we're talking about on this webinar, stuff that you think, I'm probably not the only person that has this question right now. That's a great place to put it because Alicia and I always try to keep an eye on the Q&A as well. And we also have the amazing Zoe and Aaron who are helping answer those questions. We're really directive there. So just because you can see that chat is crazy, we don't want to miss those important questions that you guys have. So make sure that if you've got something really specific, throw that in the Q&A. Otherwise, if it's just a quick comment or a thought or something that you think people think is funny and want to relate to, that's what the chat's for, so that we all kind of have a fun conversation about that. So Alicia, why don't you jump in? Let's talk about what we're talking about today. I mean, I know they've already got an idea for it because they signed up for it for a reason, but what are we talking about?
So we are going to be talking about gratitude today, and more specifically, empathetic gratitude messages for more meaningful business in 2021. So we're so excited that you guys are here. Both Kevin and I are big fans of this topic. So I really, my goal today, we're not talking a ton about products. We're really going to focus on what gratitude can do for you and your business, as well as giving you some ideas of places throughout the coming year where you can really implement gratitude at a high level into your business. So I wanted to kick it off with this quote. If you've been attending Kevin and I's webinars for a while, you've probably heard it before, but it's a quote by Maya Angelou, and she says, "People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel," right? And this is impactful because a lot of the feeling things aren't necessarily measurable, right? You don't necessarily always have metrics around how your customers feel about you. Sometimes you do. We as a company do our Net Promoter Score that lets us know how likely our customers are to recommend us to someone, but that doesn't always necessarily encapsulate the feeling. But we're actually going to get into the nitty-gritty and talk about data as well. But before we really get into it, let's talk about this. How is 2020 feeling? And I don't mean to kick it off with a downer, but let's live in the real world and talk about what this year has been like for a lot of us, me included, right? 2020 has been really isolating. Right? I've been working at home since March. I love people. Kevin, you've been working at home too, right?
Yeah, and I would say you and I, Alicia, are maybe some of the biggest extroverts that I know. So this is like sort of eating me alive. I'm sure you feel the same way, and I'm sure a lot of you guys feel the same way too. It's hard, right? I think it's the hard part about this year is we all want to be super strong, right? We all want to be really brave. We want to blow off some of these things of like, oh, it's not that big of a deal being at home. It's not, it is hard. And I think the longer we're in this, the longer it's wearing on us, right? So I'm sure you guys, maybe we're okay in April and May with some of these things, but now in December, maybe you're feeling these higher. So first and foremost, not that you need my permission, but want to give you permission to like feel these things. It's okay to be real and honest with yourself, because that really is the first step to going, okay, how can I continue to move forward with this? How can I deal and process through some of these things?
Yep. And you know, people are commenting in the chat the numbers that they're feeling, right? Less time with extended family. This is a hard one, right? Especially, you know, at the holidays, and less time with friends. My girlfriends and I do a huge Christmas party. It's called Festivus. We do this like every year with tons of people, and we had to make a decision to not do it, and our traditions have put on hold, and we're all feeling disconnected, and people are worn out. This is a big one, right? People are worn out.
Well, and you know what? I want to ask, but since we're kind of talking about how we've been feeling about this year, I did put a quick poll together that I do want to launch for everybody. It's kind of funny. You'll see it. I'm going to launch it right now, and we'll give you guys, I don't know, 30 seconds or so to kind of hop in and fill that out. Feel free to start clicking on that. You can see we're having a little bit of fun with this, right? What we want to do, though, is we want to transition from continuing to process what this year is. And we're going to talk even a little bit deeper about that. But also we want you guys to start thinking forward thinking, like what are we grateful for? What are we happy for? I'll give you a hint. I'm extremely happy to see that family is far and away taking this poll. But it's always fun. We'll give you about 15 more seconds here as we just kind of continue to process on what are the things that we are grateful for and thankful for, because this has been an extremely tough year. So I'll give it about 5 more seconds, and then I'll kind of show you guys the results. We've actually got almost 70% of people voting. So thank you.
Someone in chat said there was no red wine options in the poll. Ross,
oh, yeah. There's a bunch of those. Alcohol was not an option. I'm sorry. That was my fault. I totally missed that. Let me share these with you guys. That one may have rivaled family, but you can see, I mean, this I think speaks volumes for really what we're missing the most this year, but also the kind of customers that we have, that is what is important to us. We love hot cocoa. We love those things. Those things are awesome too. And I do love the 17 of you that said this year stinks. I appreciate your honesty, but I also love seeing, and this is just a huge reminder that guess what? If we are all feeling this way, that family is super important to us, guess who else is? All the people around us, all of our clients, all of the people. And that's why I'm so glad that you guys are on this webinar today, because it's really important to know how to communicate on that.
Well, I appreciate you launching that poll there. I forgot there. But let's jump into the meat stuff. And I know we've all had a tough year, but the idea of practicing gratitude can be considered fluffy. Okay. I'm sure there are some of you that are on here that are like, okay, sure, Alicia, when are you getting to the good stuff? But what I hope to do in the next couple minutes is really make a case for gratitude. And science really backs me up on this, that practicing gratitude is a massive asset to both your body and your brain and your business. So let's talk about some of these first. The psychological benefits. This is a huge one. Practicing gratitude actually enhances serotonin and dopamine production. So they've done research now that shows that practicing gratitude can actually rewrite your neural pathways in your brain to make you more positive and healthier. But in addition to that, the research also shows that with regular practice, you can train your prefrontal cortex to better appreciate and retain positive experiences and thoughts. So let's just start there, right? We all just agreed that it's been a tough year and that we're feeling disconnected and that it's hard and we're having to modify traditions and all of these things that have made 2020 a tough year. And yet the research is going to show us that by making gratitude an active practice in your life, you're training your prefrontal cortex to retain positive feelings and experiences better. That's powerful, right? Wouldn't we all like to be able to retain those positive emotions for longer? The second piece here under the psychological benefits is it shows increased self-esteem. And then this third one as well, clearer thinking under pressure. This is another one that I think is a massive benefit, right? When we're all experiencing so much stress at such a high level, practicing gratitude is going to make it easier for you to think more clearly. Isn't that interesting?
You know what's interesting too? I've been watching the chat, Alicia, as you've been talking through this, and so many people, we work with a lot of realtors here at BombBomb, and so a lot of people have been saying, the market's crazy, our market's amazing, business has been booming this year. That's great. And I am so happy for you that that is happening. That is still a level of stress, right? So that can still add on. The fact that you're so busy is still, so all of these benefits are absolutely just as true for those of you that are killing it this year as they are for those of us that might be fighting through and might be struggling through some stuff. So just something I've been seeing as a little bit of a trend in the chat there that I think is worth noting. Busyness can be just as stressful, right? I mean, we're hilarious as humans, right? We have like a 5 degrees of acceptable stress, right? Either we're too slow and not busy enough and stressed about that, or we're too busy and stressed about that. We're a fickle group, us human beings. But I thought that would be great to kind of note that all of these things would be really helpful no matter what side of the spectrum you fall on, for sure.
Well, absolutely. That's the thing. Like, I'm generally a pretty happy person. I generally, gratitude is a normal part of my life, but I also have 3 teenagers, right? And even in moments of parenting, when I am feeling overwhelmed by having 3 teenagers, this is something that I come back to, right? Like removing myself for a moment and taking a few seconds to practice being grateful and think about what I'm grateful for. It gives you the ability to come back into stressful situations and approach it with a new attitude. So the physical benefits, right? Regardless of if this has been a busy year for you, if this has been the best year of your business ever, right? Well, here's some physical benefits for actively practicing gratitude in your business. Stronger immune system, improved heart functioning. Research has shown that participants in a gratitude study where they were doing gratitude journals over a multi-week period there, they reduced their stress 23% when they're measuring actual like brainwave stressors. And then of course, better sleep and wake cycles. We could all use better sleep. Thank you. I see the comments in the chat. I know
you're getting a lot of love right now.
I appreciate it.
Although I will say one person called you out a little bit. They said, I had 5 teenagers at once. You have it easy. So
you.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Okay, and then the last one here is the social benefits. Actively practicing gratitude has been shown to increase your capacity for empathy, stronger interpersonal relationships. This is huge, regardless of what industry you are in. Business and sales and nonprofits and all of these, they're built around strong relationships, right? At BombBomb, we believe that businesses, thrive when you have strong relationships. Practicing gratitude can actually help that. It shows better communication. And then this last one is a big one. Practicing gratitude has been shown to increase your social capital. Kevin, do you want to share with them a little bit about social capital? Or at least are you familiar with this idea of social capital? I know we've chatted about it before.
Yeah, we've talked a bit, and of course you can feel free to chime in as well. But I want you to think about like how you are perceived from other people, right? How other people think about you and look about you. Now, there is a lot that goes into what creates that perception, right? I mean, there's tons of studies. Amy Cuddy's done some stuff on, warmth and how that affects your social capital and your perception versus actually your knowledge and your understanding and your expertise in your industry. And what's so interesting about all of these things is we assume that expertise is probably the highest thing. People are going to like me more. People are going to work with me more if I show more knowledge, if I show that I am the person in this. What they're starting to find more and more when it comes to social capital and this perception of us is that it really isn't as much that as you'd think. It's a lot more of the warmth. It's a lot more of the connection, the relationship building, a lot of those sort of things, right? And so when we're talking about sending gratitude messages and sending those sort of things, I'm sure some of you are thinking, I've got so much work right now, I don't have time to do that. Well, I want you to kind of take a step back and think on a deeper level of this, of is the work that you're doing, is getting all of that business thing, is that building as many relationships as you can? Is that building those connections with the people? Because I would argue that right now, at this moment in history, that is more important than it's ever been, right? And Alicia, you can even dive in a little bit deeper to social capital, but I think that's an important aspect of it for sure.
It really is, which is why I started it with that quote about Maya Angelou. People will never forget how you made them feel. And there are things that are immeasurable about this, right? Like, you cannot necessarily quantify with data on a spreadsheet how your customers feel about you, right? That's a relational thing. But I told you guys that I was going to back it all up with science. These are not just hippie Alicia's opinions. So Harvard and the Wharton School of Business actually did a study on gratitude in communication in regards directly to this social capital idea. And so social capital is basically a nice way of saying that it gets people to do what you want, right? Social capital, it can come in lots of ways, but basically what it's saying is that you have built up a bank that when you ask someone to do something, it's easy for them to say yes, because you've already established that repository or the reservoir, right? So Harvard does this study on gratitude and social capital. So what they do is they send out a whole bunch of cover letters asking for feedback to a whole bunch of business professionals, okay? The cover letters all come back with the feedback. And for the second part of the study, they just split that research group into two pieces, okay? The first group received this second email. I wanted to let you know I received feedback on my cover letter. I was wondering if you could help with a second cover letter I prepared. Give me feedback on it. It's attached, okay? The second group got the exact same email, but they changed one line. And the one line that they changed was, "Thank you so much. I am really grateful." That's it. That's the only line they changed. And when they changed that one line for the second group, there was an over 106% increase in compliance with the request for providing more feedback just by changing that line. So when we're talking about social capital, I want you to think about your business. Do you ask for referrals? Do you ask for online reviews? Do you want repeat customers? When you do a social media promotion and you're asking people to share your page, do you want your customers participating in that? Because if the answer is yes, then incorporating gratitude into your business, the way we're going to show you in these examples, is going to build up that reservoir of social capital. So that when you say to a client, would you be willing to write me an online review? Or do you know anyone that would benefit from my services? The likelihood that they're going to say yes to that jumps through the roof just by practicing gratitude in your business on a regular basis.
And it's so interesting, Alicia, because I think it goes to a deeper level of, like, you're showing that it's not just transactional, right? I'm not just in it for the money. I'm not just in it for whatever I need right now. You're showing that you actually care about the other person. Yeah, a small thing, and I have no numbers to back this up, but something that I started doing years ago, whenever I would call into any company, if I needed customer support, if I needed help at all, is I always start the conversation when they answer with, "Oh, hey, John, how are you doing today?" It's a simple, silly question, but it literally catches people off guard because they go, "Oh, I'm good. How are you?" And you can hear the change in their voice.
Yeah.
And now we're two people having a conversation versus a customer who really needs you to do something for them.
Yep.
And the willingness, the eagerness, the level of conversations that I'm able to have, as far as just polite, I don't always get what I want. I'm not saying there's like a magic bullet to just like get whatever you need exactly, but we're now people having a conversation. And then I've even had situations where I had to kind of complain about this certain thing that was going on. And we ended not getting what we wanted, but the other person said, "Hey, I totally understand how you're feeling. That is so frustrating. I'm sorry. I wish I could do more, but I totally get it." That's all I needed. I just needed to feel heard, right? And this is just a basic level of that. Gratitude is important because it's showing that you do care about these other people, that we're all people in this. We're
Yep.
not just business. We're not just money. We're not just numbers, right? And so it's just kind of a deeper level I was thinking about when you were going through that study.
Yeah, it's so important that you are differentiating the way that you interact with your clients. My last piece on gratitude before we move into the practical, how do you implement this into your business for 2021? But the last thing I wanted to share with you on gratitude is gratitude forces you to be present. Mindfulness is something that for many, many years was kind of pushed off to like the hippie zone. But in the last several years, this has become forefront in the business world, and the power of mindfulness and meditation and all of that. And one of the most spectacular things I believe about gratitude, especially when you're talking about grief, is that gratitude forces you to be present. So it removes all of the regret or the anxiety about the future and gives you an opportunity to sit right in the moment where you're at and pause and be grateful for the things you have. It is scientifically proven that it is not possible to feel anxiety and gratitude at the same time. You can't feel resentment and gratitude at the same time. So for yourself, right? We're talking about your body, your brain, and your business. For yourself, the simple choice of choosing to take a moment to be grateful has massive, massive benefits to you, but it brings you to the present moment so that you can get out of your head about all of the things that you regret or you should have done differently or all of your fear about what's coming next. And it forces you to just be present. And that's one of my favorite things about it. So,
Okay, so I've got to ask you that, Alicia, because I'm sure I'm not the only one sitting here going, I don't really want to sit in the present right now. That doesn't sound awesome. I think especially with COVID and all that sort of stuff, we keep throwing like, oh, just when we get a solution, when we get the vaccines, right? When we get whatever that is, that's going to get us back to normal, quote unquote. How do you recommend getting to that place for somebody that's not eager about sitting in that?
well, so here's the thing. You just opened up a can of worms, and I'm not going to go too deep on this because we have content.
Okay.
So gratitude is a practice. Gratitude is not a feeling, which was a nice little segue that you didn't mean to give me.
You're welcome.
If I were to take this present moment right now, I don't like the cold, I don't like the snow. But I can make a choice in this moment to think about the things about today or this that I can be grateful for. Well, number one, Colorado needs snow in the winter. If we don't, our forests burn in the summer. So I can choose in this situation right now with the wind and the cold and my icy driveway and all of that, and make a choice to practice being grateful for the moisture that is going to make it so that we can go camping in the summer and the forest won't be on fire, right? So whatever that is, I'm telling you, when my teenagers are driving me nuts and I go and I put myself in timeout, I will make a choice in that moment to be thankful and grateful for their strong personalities and their strong opinions and the fact that they are like growing into these incredible humans and that I have healthy children. So it really is, it's not about, oh, I feel grateful for this year. It's about making a choice to practice gratitude in whatever moment and making a choice to be grateful for the things you can be grateful for. You can't be grateful for all of them. You can't be grateful for everything that's happening, but you can be grateful for whatever it is in that moment that you can find. It's going to have a massive benefit. Okay.
I heard you say something specific there too, Alicia, is like making space for it, right? Like you have to make space. The more I think about it, you can't just sit and be like, I'm going to be grateful right now, right? Like you cannot force that into feeling. It's a lot more of, you have to have consistency. You have to have space for it. I mean, I've been seeing some people talking about how they used to keep grateful journals or gratitude journals every morning or something like that. COVID's kind of derailed some, I'm guilty of that too.
Yeah.
So really, it sounds like that's an important piece as well, making space for it, being, diligence, not the right word, but being specific and saying, I'm going to create this every day or every other day or every week, whatever your kind of plan is. And then it gives you the time to really realize kind of some of the stuff, the long-term stuff that you were talking about there as well.
Well, and I love what you just brought up with the gratitude journals, because all of the research, I've been a gratitude junkie for a long time, and I was excited to even dive deeper into research for this one. But all of the research shows over and over and over again that it is not a feeling, that it is a practice, and that you need to do something with this idea of gratitude to bring it into existence. So whether that's a gratitude journal, whether that's meditation, whether you're religious and you do that in your prayer time, or whether you have a jar in your house, a gratefulness jar that when you think of something, you can write it down and put it in the jar, Or if you want to incorporate it into your business, we're going to give you 5 ways right now with video. The practice of gratitude is really just massively enhanced by video, because all of the reasons why video is powerful, all of the reasons why you're here on a BombBomb webinar, right? They get to see your face, they get to sense your emotion, they get to look in your eyes. Watching videos of human faces can also stimulate serotonin production. So you practicing gratitude and sending a gratitude video is helping produce serotonin and dopamine in your brain, as well as the recipient that watches that video back of you saying thank you. You're producing serotonin in their brain as well. So it's really, really a benefit to incorporate this into your business with video for all of the things I already talked about, the social capital, the better relationships, and all of that. So we're just going to jump into 5 opportunities in your business that you can carry through 2021 with these empathetic gratitude messages that are going to really create strong relationships. So this first one is a big one, right? We teach to this all the time, Kevin, don't we?
Oh, absolutely. And it's something that I think I feel this and maybe one of the other ones we're going to talk about more than most, right? When people are appreciative for what I've given or what I've done, that means a lot to me. And so time is a big thing. I think because of this COVID and the crazy year, like my 5-year-old has been home most of the year instead of at school, right? So you're working, you're familying, you're parenting, you're doing all of these things. And so time is a really, really valuable piece. When you give somebody that time and give them time for a meeting or a get together or whatever that may be, that's really important, right? And that's something that we need to be really, really active on. So I want you guys to think about this. The cool thing about this one, and I love that you wrote this on this slide here, is before and after appointments or calls, right? You can be pre-appreciative for people's time, right? Hey, thank you so much for scheduling that with me. I know time is valuable. It means a lot. I'm excited. This is what we're going to cover, and build that value, right? Build up what's going to happen. Guess what? More people are going to show up if they see the value in the appointment. So you're really helping your business by showing this gratitude as well. But after, right, it shows your follow-up on some of the things that you talked about. And this video we're going to play is a perfect example of that, of following up and reiterating, hey, I was present. I was in it with you. I was listening. Here's the things that we're going to do moving forward to make sure that this meeting and this time you gave me was worth that time. So yeah, you can go ahead and play this example. I think it's perfect for the after.
Hey Candy, hope you have a safe drive back. I just want to thank you very much for your time today. It was a big pleasure getting to know you, and an honor for you to come by and check out our new office. Thanks for doing that. And listen, I heard you really loud and clear in terms of your goal, and it seems to me that it's very important to you to get to that level of 100 to 150,000 on a consistent basis. I read you loud and clear. And if you don't mind, as I said...
Yeah, I love this video because Scott does such a good job of practicing active listening. Could you hear the audio on that, Kevin?
I heard it okay on my end. So.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I saw that in chat. But yeah, active listening, this is a really powerful thing, right? If someone has gone out of their way to schedule time with you, regardless of what your business is, and after you spend time with them, you send a video back saying, hey, thank you so much for your time today. And then you repeat back information that they shared with you, whether it's about their family or their goals or whatever it was. You are showing them that they are important and that the whole point of that meeting wasn't just for you to talk or hear yourself talk. So really, really powerful. I'd love to hear how many of you in the chat listen to Ethan's podcast, the Customer Experience Podcast. Throw a yes or something in the chat. Such an incredible podcast. And, you know, Ethan has been interviewing business leaders from all over the industry. And the whole thrust of the podcast is about customer experience. This is Ethan Butte I'm talking about. He is our chief evangelist here at BombBomb. And, you know, one of the things that they talk about, Ethan and these executives, over and over and over again, that business has changed, right? Consumers have the power now, right? We do not control our consumers the way we used to have more control. And so the best differentiator that you have in your business is what kind of experience are you providing your customers? I have real estate agents tell me all the time that this thank you video that they send after a listing appointment, especially when they know that they're in a competitive situation, this video right here, the, oh, thank you so much for your time today, that it's helping them win more listings because it is differentiating them from anyone else, right? Massive differentiator.
I think what's interesting about that too, Alicia, is just something I was thinking as you were describing that is, I think a lot of us hear this message and go, well, duh. Yeah, of course we should be sending those messages. Guess what? People are not doing it.
What?
We would not be telling you to do this and reiterating this every single year if it was something that everybody was doing, right?
Yeah.
You would be shocked at how much a message like this makes a difference. Alicia, you and I could probably tell you each 10 examples of times we have done this and the responses we get, the appreciation that is shown back, the way it makes people feel. We're not telling you to do this just to be status quo and give you something else to do. This stuff really makes a difference in business because your competitors are not doing it. So
They're not doing it.
yeah. And I know it sounds shocking to say that, but it's true. I mean, even this one, right? Thank you for your business. After the sale, after the transaction or donation, that seems like, of course we should be thanking people. I know some of our realtors even send gifts or send presents. That's amazing. Do those things. Show people that you care. Other people are not doing it. So take these advantages, take these opportunities to build that advantage. Because what's so great about these two is that it's all about the relationship, right? Again, it's all about deeper meaning of this was not just a transaction for me.
Yeah.
For those of you that are in the real estate space, the mortgage space, title, whatever industry, car sales, you're dependent on people coming back to do business with you as well. So it cannot be just I'll find 50 new leads again next year. No, help build that business, build that book for yourself. And this is that first step, thanking them for the transaction. Now, the example we're going to play, it's a great example. I absolutely love it. You can see the second bullet point there. It says you can do this in mass and or have a pre-recorded video, but I'm always going to push you to personalize this. The example we're going to show you is what we would call an evergreen video here at BombBomb, where she recorded it once and can use it for lots of different people. But especially right now, at the end of this year with everything that's gone on, as much as you can push yourself to personalize.
Yep.
I will say that Evergreen is better than nothing. It is still effective, but I really, really, really want to push you guys to make that time for your clients because it is a deeper feeling when you do it that way.
Well, and depending on your business model, right? If you are doing high volume transactions, and you're running your business on your own, I know we have a lot of, self business here as entrepreneurs that are doing it all by themselves. If the best that you can do is having an evergreen video that you send out after a transaction, then that's better than not doing anything. However, if you can send a personal video, it is going to benefit you. I'm going to go ahead and press play on this one.
Yeah.
Hi, I just wanted to shoot you a quick email to say thank you for your business and your trust. We really appreciate you being part of our Farmers Agency. If you don't already know, every single Farmers Insurance Agency is independently owned and operated. So I want to say from my family to yours, thank you for your support and your business and your loyalty. We really do appreciate it. It's near and dear to our heart to provide the very best customer service and coverage that we can to protect you and your family. If you have any questions or need anything, we're here for you. But again, just a quick thank you. Have a wonderful day.
So I saw in the chat, someone said, is there a danger that we can come across as nauseating? And we'll talk about this more when we give you the framework. But I don't think that a sincere thank you is going to turn anyone off. Now, a fake thank you, if you are sending a thank you just to check a box, then yeah, it might be nauseating if it's not sincere. But I don't think that sincere messages or, touching a point with someone to just let them know that you are grateful for them or that you're grateful for the way they're supporting your business. I don't know if that would ever come across as nauseating. I've never had someone say thank you to me and it seemed nauseating unless it was insincere. I had Wells Fargo call me up recently. It was someone from a branch at Wells Fargo. I never go into the branch. And he called to thank me for my business and to see if I had any concerns, but I didn't know who this person was. I literally, I didn't recognize the name. I had never had any interaction with him. That felt fake to me. And I didn't really engage with him on the phone. I told him I didn't have time because that to me was a corporate company checking a box. There's a difference.
Yeah. I think the key word that you said there is sincerity, right? I have never had somebody be sincere with me and I've been like, oh gosh, you know, like that. And I'll even tell you from experience from the flip side of that. I have sent, Alicia, I don't know what your number is. I think I'm at like 8,000 videos in BombBomb right now. Now, not all of those have been gratitude, thank you videos, but I guarantee there are hundreds, maybe thousands of gratitude videos that I have sent. I have never once had somebody come back and say, how dare you say thank you to me? They're not going to do that. People want that. They want that sincerity. To reiterate Alicia's point, and we'll talk about this a little bit more, if you're not sincere, don't do it. That is where we start to all of a sudden, it becomes detrimental to your business when you cannot be sincere in that moment. Just like Alicia's experience with Wells Fargo. So that I think is the number one most important thing. In fact, we've had some Q&As and some chats about people that are working for nonprofits going, how can we do this? Well, yeah, they've mentioned you can send a thank you for your donation. That's incredible, right? I would love that whenever I donate. But think about the people that even visit your site, the people that show interest but don't donate. If you can build that relationship, if you can build that sincerity in your heart for your purpose, oh my gosh, people are going to want to give more and are going to be more willing to. So there's just so many different layers of this. I'll let you talk about Trey because I love Trey here, but thank you for promoting me. That's a whole nother level of an extension of what you can share. Right?
So here's the thing. Referrals makes the world go round. Social proof is massive, right? I put some numbers in here. 82% of Americans say they seek recommendation from friends and family before making a purchase. 88% of consumers trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. So if your customers are writing reviews, telling other people about you, mentioning you on social media, participating in those kinds of giveaways or talking to you about their friends or anything like that, you have got to be saying thank you. You need to make sure that they understand that you are a part of that. They're helping your business, right? That they are a part of building up your business. It takes 5 times as much to attract a new customer than to keep an old one. Guess what? A customer that comes to you via a current customer because they said your name or they mentioned on social media, on their Instagram stories, how great you were, that doesn't cost you anything. So such a powerful way to make sure that your customers feel appreciated by you, but they're also going to keep doing it, right? If they have shared your name with someone or referred you to someone and they got like a video from you saying, thank you so much, you have no idea what it means to me, they're going to be more likely to keep doing that. So I love this. Oh, Jerry just said this in the chat. And I always talk about this in teaching. But a thank you, a gratitude video should never be accompanied with an ask. Let the ask come later. I had to mention it because I saw it in chat and we'll talk about it more in the framework. But do not send a thank you so much for your business. I so appreciate you. You want to buy something else, right? Again, that becomes insincere. Jerry for president. I love it. Chat is on fire today. You guys are making me happy. Okay, so this is Trey Woods, and we've played his videos before. We've sent his showed his thank you videos that he sends after a transaction, but this one's really cool because it's after a transaction, but it's a transaction that someone actually bought something for one of their friends. So check this out.
Hey Karen, it's Trey Woods with Hoboken Coffee. Just wanted to let you know that I got your order for the bag of coffee and the mug to go up to your friend in Michigan. I've got that all boxed up and I'm going to get that over to the post office this afternoon. So your friend should see it. Oh, and I got a note put in there as well. So your friend should see it early next week, and really appreciate the support. It means a lot as a small business owner when people trust that we've got a great product and we're going to get it to people on time and that they're going to enjoy it. So thanks for the support. If you or your friend like the coffee, we're close to launching a subscription service. So
he did kind of throw a little bit of an ask in there, but Trey does such a good job at making sure that his customers know that he depends on them for their business and that he so appreciates them helping him grow his business. So great job there.
Yeah, one of the questions I just want to tag on real quick that I saw in chat, Alicia, Vicky actually asked, You know, when she's out in the field, when she's working, she's in more of a business attire. When she's at home, she's a little bit more casual. What's the right appropriate dress to have in these videos? Now, I'm not going to be able to give you a 100% answer that you're going to hate a little bit, Vicky, but I want you to just think about, how do you want to come across? I mean, you could see Trey, the last example we showed you, he's in a t-shirt, right? With his hair down, he's just chill, he's relaxed. That's how he is. Now, huge shout out to Zoe. Zoe's actually one of the Bomb Mom employees who's chatting with you guys right now. She's killing it, answering questions and stuff. She's pretty relaxed, right? She's not all dressed up. There is no right or wrong. I have never had somebody write back and be like, man, I loved your video, but you should have changed your clothes. I've never had that response. However, I want you to take into consideration a few things. One, what is your expectation from your company? I'm not here saying it's okay to be chill when your boss is telling you that's not okay. I do not want to argue with them. So think about that. What is that expectation? And two, what is the relationship you have with this person, right? Maybe if you're sending more internal videos, you can be more casual. If you're reaching out to clients, maybe you put just a colored shirt on or something like that. There is no right or wrong recipe. I don't want you to overthink this and not send videos because you're not dressed up. That's the number one thing, is I don't want that to be a hurdle for you that stops you from sending videos. So maybe just spend a little bit of time thinking through, how do I want to be perceived? However you feel comfortable within that is okay within the video itself. But I know there's a lot of people that have those questions. So just something I wanted to touch on real quick.
Well, and I want to encourage you guys that solidarity goes a long way too, right? Like, I would say most of us are working at home. So it really depends on your business, on your clients and all of that, but don't overthink it, right? If you are going to allow the, I don't like the way my background looks at home, or, I didn't put on enough makeup today, or if you're going to let those things keep you from investing in your customers this way, then that's a detriment to you and your business, right? Like, it's just, you're allowing these self-limiting beliefs about the way it needs to be perfect to get away from you, as opposed to showing up as a human being and just showing honest appreciation matters. And if you need to time block, right? If you need to set aside time once a week to, do your gratitude videos when okay, I'm gonna put on my makeup and dress professional so I can do it, then do it, right? Don't let that keep you from being successful with this. So this fourth example, thank you to your colleagues, your partners. This is about internal communication. Being seen and appreciated matters, okay? Now, this isn't internal communication, but Judy Hirsch, a customer, when we sent out your reminder for this webinar today, and I sent a thank you video to you guys, our customers, I got a thank you back from a customer. Judy Hirsch, if you're on the webinar, thank you. It made my day, right? It matters. Being seen by someone and someone saying thank you for what you're doing, it actually matters. Research shows that people work harder and are more likely to volunteer for extra work after they've been thanked by someone in authority. Now, I'm not telling you that you should go around thanking all of your employees so that they'll do harder work for you, but it matters.
Well, and there is so much research behind this. I mean, the reason that people leave companies for another company, right? I mean, it's not because of money. It's because they didn't feel important. They didn't feel valued, right? I mean, there's so many different studies you can look at around this. I will just say, from a personal experience, this year, this has been one of the things that I think our Bomb colleagues have been so good at, is just taking a second. One of the great things that I've been trying to do is, when we hire a new employee, how weird would it be to start a new job where you literally don't know anybody and you're sitting in your house via Zoom? That's crazy. But it's great. Take that 30 seconds, record a video, send it to them. Hey, we're so glad you're here. We're glad you're part of this team. Bomb.mom's a great place to be, right? But it's just, and Zoe's example is perfect here, about just communicating with people that you don't talk to as much, letting them know what you're excited about, letting them know you see them and appreciate them. It goes such a long way in not just productivity, but mental health. All these different levels of keeping your employees healthier so that they are happy to work, they enjoy their jobs. That, of course, is going to make them more productive, but the deeper level is that our employees are happy and they're proud to be a part of this company or this team.
Yeah, it's those immeasurables, right? It's really those immeasurables, but relationships matter. I'm going to play this video from Zoe, and then we're going to jump into that last example and then give you guys your easy framework. We are going to take time for questions. So if you do have questions, make sure you're throwing them in the Q&A. We do want to make sure that you get out of here on time as well. So let me play this video from Zoe, who did a killer job showing gratitude to another employee here at BombBomb.
Hey, Allie, I just want to take a quick second here and say thank you. I am so excited for this role, but more importantly, I'm really excited to work directly for you and with you. I think I have so much to learn from you. I'm so impressed by your career so far and where you're going to go and what you've done and continue to do for BombBomb, but also you as a human being are just somebody I admire and would love to emulate. So I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for taking a chance on me. I'm so grateful to be here and be on this team. And
such a great video.
I'm getting teared up, and it's not even for me.
Yeah, it's beautiful. This last one, thank you, just because this is actually a quote that I pulled from my favorite article that I read in all of my research, which was from Positive Psychology, and it was all about the neuroscience of gratitude. A lot of the neuroscience things that I pulled were from that specific article. But what it said in the article was, it is not happiness that brings us gratitude. It is gratitude that brings us happiness. Kevin and I have been encouraging you guys to do this since COVID went under lockdown. Reaching out to your clients and just connecting and saying, hey, I'm thinking about you. I'm grateful that you've trusted me with your business. How can I help you? I'll play this video and then we're going to jump into the framework real quick. But this matters, right? These immeasurables, this just letting people know that you're grateful for them, it is going to have an effect on your body, on your brain, on their brain, as well as your business. It matters. And we're going to give you a framework to make this really, really easy after we play this video.
Hey Scott, it's Marvette. I am in Orlando, Florida, enjoying the conference. Just sending you a little note to let you know I'm thinking about you, one, and two, to let you know how much I appreciate you. It's been a minute since I've actually said that to you, but I really do appreciate you. And I am so glad that you're on my real estate team. Take care, talk to you soon, and we'll catch up next week. Bye-bye.
Kevin and I were talking about this before the webinar, but when we're talking about mood wise and psychologically, things are not getting better for a lot of people right now, especially as we move into the winter and holidays. And now is an incredible opportunity for you to be present with your book of business, with your sphere, with your past clients. It doesn't have to be a big flowery deal. Just a simple video to say, hey, I'm thinking about you. I'm so, so grateful that you trusted me with your business. How can I help you? Does your family need anything? Right? Presence, empathy, gratitude, service, just showing up for your clients right now is going to have a massive impact on your business in 2021. A client on another webinar jumped into chat and said that he had sent 45 of these quick one-to-one videos to his database that week. I'm thinking about you. I care about you. Are you okay? I'm so grateful to be connected to you. Is there anything I can do to help you? And of those 45 videos that he sent in that week, he had 18 phone calls returned. 18, right? What an impact on his business. So we're not going to give you a script for your gratitude videos, okay? The only way you can screw up a thank you video is by not being genuine or trying to script it. So we just have this framework for you to make it really easy, okay? Start with a warm, friendly greeting, right? Just as you would. Say thank you, but then connect to it. Thank them specifically for what it is or what it means to you. And then thank them again at the end of the video. This is not complicated. I'm going to give you a quick example of it, of how I would send Kevin a thank you video for helping me co-host the webinar today. Hey, Kevin, as always, thank you so, so much for helping me co-host the webinar today. It makes such a big difference to have your thoughts and your personality, and it really is the best part of my month. So thank you so much for being such an incredible co-host. Right? That's it, right? Thank you, connect to them, and then thank them again during the close. It's not complicated. The best part about sending gratitude videos is that because you're not having to write it out or type it in an email, you don't have to add a whole bunch of flowery words or things to make it sound more sincere, because you get to use emotion and eye contact and all of that.
And really, those are the most important things. I think I always want to take the pressure off with these gratitude videos of that, like Alicia said, the only way you can do this wrong is to not be sincere, right? It's the difference of, hey, Alicia, it's Kevin with Bomb Bomb. How are you? Like, that's going to not go over well. If you're just genuine and you're real, something we talked about a little bit earlier about worrying about backgrounds and clothes and those sort of things. No matter how hard you try, these videos are never going to be perfect because we're all imperfect. And I want you to know that and lean into that, because those kind of things are actually what connect us. The ums, the uhs, the space. You've seen that in every example that we've showed you. They're real people. And that's all I want you to focus on, is how can I let this person understand and feel what I feel about them?
Yeah.
If you can get that across, this video will be a success, I promise.
We included a couple tips here for you. A whiteboard is still always a great idea to get their attention, right? Like writing their name on it, or if you use the app, big, something, or, thank you. I did that on the video yesterday that you guys all got, whether you watched it or not, right? I just held up a whiteboard that said thank you with a big smile. So something to get their attention in the subject line, thank you plus their name. Someone asked for an example in the chat there. I would literally put thank you, or video for Kevin, thank you, or Kevin, thank you so much. Whatever it is, you want to put their name because it actually has been shown that we're psychologically drawn to our name. It's just another thing to help connect people to that message. And then the last tip here, which we talked about briefly with a pre-recorded and Evergreen thank you video. If you're going to do an Evergreen video for thank yous, or if you're going to send out one thank you video to your entire database at the end of the year, go big, right? Like bring your team into it, have a bunch of people wear silly hats, or do something big, okay? If you are going to do a pre-recorded or an Evergreen thank you video, don't try and pass it off like it's a personal one. Again, it makes it seem inauthentic.
Yeah, I love that too. Like I said earlier, if you can go personal, go personal. I want to continue to lean on that. But if you're going to do something, if this is the best, it's so funny. I was just listening to a podcast this week. Brene Brown hosts a podcast on leadership and leading your company, and she had Barack Obama on as her guest. It's on Spotify. I highly suggest listening to it. There's so much great wisdom in that. But one of the things he said is, I learned that just because there isn't a perfect solution doesn't mean that there's not a better solution. Mm-hmm. And that really resonated with me. It's kind of this scenario, right? If all you can do is record one video right now to use time and time again, that is better than not doing anything, right? It's not going to be perfect, but that's okay. But if you're going to do it, put a little time and effort into that one video, right? Get coworkers, make it fun, really make it something that when people watch it, they're just going to feel that from top to bottom.
Yeah. So as a recap, and then we will take time for questions if you do have questions. We are Brene Brown junkies over here, Rhonda. I see the chat. The places where you can incorporate these powerful messages of gratitude in your business for 2021. It's going to help your business. It's going to help your brain. It's going to help your body. Thanking people for their time before and after, or one or the other, but thanking people for their time. Thanking your clients for their business, thanking your clients for promoting you, thanking the people that work with you, your colleagues, your partners, your team members, and then just practicing gratitude because it matters. These are ways that I promise you, you are going to see a difference in your business. I saw in the chat, someone was talking about how they had started writing in a gratitude journal, 3 things they were thankful for. And they said, slowly but surely over 10 days, I saw a change in my mood, right? These things are going to have an effect on your business. I hope that I convinced you that the science is there. I really do, because it matters. It matters. It matters. We have time for questions. I know we didn't talk a lot about product today, so maybe we don't have a ton of questions, but if you have to run, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for believing in BombBomb, right? What we're doing here, it's different. We really, truly believe that your communication is better when you get to communicate as a human being. And we thank you for believing in us, and we thank you for trusting us with your business. We're really, really grateful for you. I know Kevin and I, we say this almost every week, but I love our customer webinars.
Well, I think to kind of expand on what you were just saying there, Alicia, I mean, you guys are what make BombBomb what it is. Your input, your feedback, your just joy, your zeal for jumping into something new and exciting and pushing yourselves. We're all about rehumanizing, bringing us back into the equation. And no matter how good BombBomb is, if you guys were not a part of that, we wouldn't be able to succeed in that. So we can't thank you guys enough for investing in us and yourselves and your businesses and all of those different ways. So from the bottom of our hearts, I don't know that anything we say can show you enough gratitude of what our entire BombBomb family feels, but hopefully we can try. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And there have been a couple of questions that have popped up here as well. One that I want to touch on that was asked a couple of minutes ago is somebody was saying they're having a really hard time sending out their normal thank you cards that they send out at the end of the year here. And they've been using video to kind of supplant some of those. Is it okay to just use video and maybe not do the cards this year? Well, you've got kind of a biased opinion on this one. I'll be totally honest. I love end of the year videos. I love them. You know why? Because I get like 50 to 100 end of the year cards.
Yeah.
And those are from family, friends, people that we love, have built relationship with. The ones that I get from businesses or from whoever it may be, they don't necessarily get the importance and the placement on my fridge that all those other ones are getting. Yeah. So not only does this really differentiate you, it allows them to feel that deeper meaning versus this perfect family picture, this perfect business picture that you're sending out on a thank you card, right? It allows them to feel that emotion. And it also, Alicia brought up a great point a couple of months ago, this gives them an opportunity to communicate back with you, which is so important from a business perspective. We want them to feel the thank you. That's huge, but it's also great if we can start a conversation too, right? Yeah. It's a deeper level of that. So just something I wanted to touch on. I'm not saying don't do thank you cards. If that's your thing, if you love doing it, if it's been impactful for you, I'm not going to say that that's wrong. But if you're not feeling it, if you're not excited about doing it this year, it's a stressor, but the videos seem a little bit easier, lean into that. Yeah. Go for that. I think you will see just amazing responses from your clients with those as well.
Yep. Lee wanted to know, what do you suggest in a follow-up email if your first BombBomb video didn't get a response? And I saw another question there. I know our team is doing a great job answering some of these questions, but I had seen another question about getting your videos played. And I would, we have webinars on this. I believe we do have a session that's on our page called Guaranteed Ways to Get Your Video Played. But I would encourage you to, first off, the first video that didn't get a response, Lee, take a look at it. Were you clear in the subject line that there was a video? Number one, we always encourage you. Putting the word video in the subject line is actually going to increase the likelihood that they play the video. There's other things you can look at. Did you include text around the video? We always encourage you, don't just send a video with no text around it. You want to put a line of text above and let them know exactly, why to press play on the video. So my first suggestion would be take a look at that first video you sent and maybe see why they may not have played the video or maybe not responded, and maybe they weren't clear about what you wanted there. But it's hard to say what to suggest in the follow-up email without knowing the specific email. But try something different. You can always try a different subject line, or, video is a massive benefit to your communication, but you still have to get people to open the email and break through the noise. And anything that we can do to kind of help them know what's in there, you know, putting text saying, you know, press play on the video for some follow-up information after our meeting, or, you know, I recorded you a quick personal video to let you know how much I appreciate you, press play. Anything like that is really going to help you get that kind of engagement. Bonnie wanted to know about captions. It's on the radar. I can't give you an exact timeline for when it's going to be built, but it absolutely is on our radar. We've had a lot of requests around it. I just can't give you any specific details because they didn't give them to me, but it's happening. I just don't know when.
Yeah. Everybody, we've just hit about 11:01. So thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. We can try and say it in a million different ways. We appreciate you as customers. We appreciate you hopping onto this webinar and giving us some of your time. We appreciate everything that you guys do for your clients, the way that you're bringing the humanization back into it. But thank you for everything that you do for us. We really, really appreciate you. One of the things we forgot to mention earlier on, you will receive a recording of this. So keep your eyes open for that email. If you missed anything, I know there's a lot of information that we went over. You'll get a recording. You'll probably get some of the slides as well that Alicia built for this webinar. So you'll get all of that information so that you guys can look over that, review it, and kind of hone in where you want to focus. But get into your BombBomb account, start sending some thank you videos. Do it today. Heck, right now, if you've got time, get in, start building that habit of gratitude. And it's not only going to make a huge impression on you, but it's also going to make a great impression on your database and the people around you and the people that you're reaching out to. So thank you guys so much. We appreciate it more than we can mention.
Thank you guys. Have an incredible end of year, whatever holidays you are celebrating. I hope that they are memorable, and we'll see you guys in 2021.
See you next year.